Alright, now we're going to look at the beginning, middle, and ending sound sheets, syllables, and numbers. So on part 1, PDF files under journal entries on the home page. And here it comes. Alright, the beginning sounds, all of this was included in the packet. I'm going to zoom in just a little. Alright, beginning sound sheets. Alright, so here, this should be totally independent. Like, they shouldn't really need any help with this. So they may just need to know, like, what the picture is. So most of them know that's a bat. They know that's a wand. Or the girls might. I don't know about the boys. They may. The goat, a doll, a pig, a boat, an egg, a hat, a bell, and a cat. So the way I guide them on this here, I would say, all right, that is a what? A bat. What do you hear first? What letter sound do you hear first? And then they would say B. All right, a wand, wand. What makes the W sound? Then they would say W. And on these, if any of them have trouble, W is usually one that's tricky for them. And the G, but it's the G sound. A lot of times they want to say that G says J. Sometimes G does say J, makes the J sound like J, but most of the time G is going to say G, G, and I usually point to my throat when I do that. And they kind of confuse I and E, so they may say I says I. I'm sorry, I says but E says And when I describe sounds to them of vowels, I say A says like I say like no, don't do that. E says like it's kind of hard of hearing, and I cup my hand behind my ear when we talk about the E sound. We say and then on I, we say I is really icky, like I sling my hand And we say that O goes to the doctor a lot, and he says, ah. And U, we say, has a tummy ache, and he always says, Alright, so you can help them with vowel sounds. And these are more beginning letter sounds. So this would be leg and a yam. They wouldn't know what that is, so you'd have to help them out there. So we say Y is really yucky. They confuse W and Y a lot, because W says W and Y says Y. Alright, there's a net, tie, zoo, hat. Oh, hat was on the other one, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Alright, and goat. Alright, that was on there too. Alright, and van, and sun, and mat. I would say rug, but that is a mat. Alright, and short vowel sounds. So here you would just tell them, they're trying to figure out what vowel sound they hear in the middle. That's how I would describe it to them. So when you say sock, what vowel sound do you hear? Do you hear a, I, or So here you would say sock, sock. What do you hear? We hear ah, so we know that's going to be a O. Alright, and nest, nest. So what vowel do you hear in the middle? It would be E, and so on and so forth until you get down to the bottom. Alright, and the next one is the same. And then ending sound. So here would be wand, whatever they hear last. So wand. What's the last sound that you make when you say the word? That is how I would explain that. And same sheet here, ending sounds. And here is counting by tens. Alright, these are supposed to be, I think, pieces of silver. But this here, you can actually give them like Fruit Loops or Cheerios or something to count, or pennies or paper clips or anything. They should be able to count by groups of 10, because we do this a lot. So like with counters, like I'll give one person 10, another person 10, another person 10, and we'll walk around the tables and go 10, 20, 30, 40. So just to see if they recognize them. And we say that all the 10 numbers, anything that's tens, has a number and a 0. So they know this is 10. The next one's going to be 10 and 20. 10 plus 10 is 20. So 10, 20, 30. They're writing 20 here, 30 here, 40 here, 50 here, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So they should be able to write the number by just hearing the number or by counting in their head. Alright, the next one is just the missing numbers, number sequence. So 1, 2, what comes next? 3, and they should be able to write it. I don't tell them the answers. I want to see what they know. Even if they get it wrong, we can still go back. A lot of times they are able to look at the number chart on the wall or the strip that goes underneath the chalkboard to complete these. So they don't have this at home. So if you wanted to find a 100 chart online, all you got to do is type it in Google 100 chart and a million images come up. You can just print one out, and that 100 chart would be great to be going over numbers with them. When I do count 1 through 100 on 100 charts, I can pull up a 100 chart real quick. Let's see. And I'll tell you what we do with numbers. Let's see. 100 chart. Let's see. 100 chart. Let me look one up for you really quick. 100 chart. Well, it won't let me search. Alright, let's just go to numbers. Numbers. Here we go. Numbers, and I'm looking for 100 chart. 100 chart. There we go. Alright, here's a 100 chart. These are also on Google or on, you can look up in any search engine and find 100 charts. So when I'm counting with them in class, we do this like every other day. I'll start at any given number and I'll say 5, 6, 7, they say 8. I'll say 11, 12, 13, they'll say 14. Or I may count and then stop at numbers and say, let me back this up a little, I'm sorry. Alright, or they may say, I may say 1, 2, 3, 4, they'd say 5. And I'd continue 6, 7, 8, they'd say 9. They don't count with me. And this really helps with number sequence, before and after numbers. Before numbers are a little harder. Before numbers don't usually come until kindergarten, so I don't focus on them as much. 1 through 10 they can usually get before and after. But at any time at random, I'll just say 73, 74, 75, they'll say 76. Or I may say 87, 88, 89. They'll say 90. Occasionally, they will have trouble transitioning to a new number family, meaning from like 39 to 40, 49 to the 50s, 50s to the 60s. Sometimes the numbers on the end get them. So counting by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And we count by fives. They're a little harder for them to learn and remember. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Alright, so that just gives you a few ideas to work on numbers with them at home. Alright, back to number sequence. These should be fairly easy for them to do, but if you want to provide them the number chart, that's okay too. And when we get